pancake time.
Pancake time. We had to make our own butter tonight because it was Christmas and we ran out making all of our other cookies. So made some pancakes with our own butter that we whipped up with our own whipped cream. And we'll show you how we did that with our stand mixer here. It's basically you put it in there, you let it whip.
And some cream.
Yep, put that whipped cream in there and it just starts getting stiffer. Eventually turns into whipped cream like you'd put on a pie. And you'll see here just in a minute. But I'd always wanted to try this, but I've never really had the need to have to. But it was Christmas night. We wanted pancakes, and we didn't have any butter, and you can't have pancakes without butter, especially the way I like to make them. And I'll show you that here soon. But yeah, here it starts kind of peaking and looking like...
Look at whipped cream.
Yeah, starting to look like whipped cream. Yep. And slowly it starts to kind of start turning colors, and you'll start to see it gets a little thicker. I start to push down the sides here. You can start to kind of see it kind of looks a little yellow, doesn't it, Eli? Not as white anymore, right?
Very, very white.
Starting to turn a little yellow, right?
Right.
And starts to group together, and it happens fairly quick when it does. I don't know why. I can't get my angle very good on this part, but... Push it back down a couple times. It's got to be patient on this part. I got to push it down. Sorry, not very good camera angle on this. But this is when it happens. It's real quick. It goes from whipped cream and then whoosh. It goes to butter. It just starts clumping together. Turns real yellow. And all of a sudden all the water, all the buttermilk starts flopping out.
Yeah, Bo?
Yep, and all the butter starts collecting. It happens real quick, see? Like this, see? Cool. All of a sudden, it just starts to look like splashing around, and the butter's just splashed around in the buttermilk. It's really neat.
Get all over the place.
It happens quick. Yeah, it does start to splash around. You got to make a little mess. But, yeah, basically, you just pour out that buttermilk into another cup, and then you got your butter, and you rinse it off under some cold water a couple times. And then... I put it down on some foil here, and we salted it a little bit and kind of formed it how we would like it. I probably end up putting like maybe a whole, I don't know, half teaspoon of salt on here. It definitely wasn't too salty when I used it later. Yeah, and then I had like a whole 12-ounce, maybe 16-ounce cup of buttermilk too. I'm going to use that for some biscuits later, but... I put it in the fridge, let it kind of cool down a little bit. And then in the meantime, I started making my pancakes here. In the stand mixer that we made our pancakes in, there was still our butter in. Bits of butter and buttermilk, no problem. We're just going to drop our little bit of flour in here. I think it was like a cup and a half of flour. And here in a minute, I'm actually going to end up using the butter. We found the glitch in the matrix and made our own butter here. This recipe calls for like 2 or 3 tablespoons to be melted into it. So, yep, there's the butter that we made.
Good butter.
Oh, man, it was so fresh. But, yep, here it is melting. We found the glitch in the matrix. Made our own butter. But yep, you had a little bit of baking powder in there, a little bit of salt, of course. I use regular milk. I was thinking about using buttermilk, but then I didn't. I don't know why. Whatever. Then you add your egg. I added a whole shell in there too, so I had to fish that out this time. And with the mixture, you never know how much you crush, but I don't think we ever found any shell. Did you find any shell in your pancake? No, me neither. Alright, so this one there, you add in that melted butter that we just made. Homemade fresh melted butter in there. And stir that around a little bit. And then whenever we start making these pancakes, we use our butter again.
In the dry?
It wasn't completely clean or whatever. There was still a little bit of milk and, whey in there, whatever you call it. But it was fresh, and you could tell it, and it tasted so good. I'm so glad I did that, and I'm definitely going to be doing it again. Blueberries in the pancake mix. Washed them off a little bit. And then we kind of was trying to see what the heat of this pan was going to do. I forgot to have it up and going whenever I started doing this. All right. Pancake number 2 down. Now that our heat's rocking and rolling, I'm going to flip that first one. Kind of see what it looks like on the backside. Yeah. Still a little light, but that way I know how it's cooking. First pancake's always ugly. Everybody knows that. Flip them over, make them nice and tidy. Get a little set for the boy first, or maybe the wife, whoever's hollering the most. There's another set number 2. Got some blueberries on there. Make them look pretty. I think I arranged them symmetrically. Good stuff. Round number 2. Come on, serve it up, kid. You're moving like molasses. Let's go, kid. Turn them and flip them and go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. People getting hungry around these parts. All right, here's the last round for me. I make a couple, and then we got the Mama Jamma where we flip her over, and it's got a little practice, but man, he's starting to look real good. Starting to get that color just how I like it. Started to learn and here's the big boy right here. I used a little bit more of that homemade butter, you know it. And then watch this big one. Almost takes the whole pan. Mama bear and little bear, they're all fed, so I can make myself a big one. Spread those. All right, here we go. Got to get underneath it. Come on. Bam. You know it. One time. Couldn't help it. Had to get a couple bites in. Threw it on top. Put more of that homemade butter. Y'all quit judging me. I don't do this very often, but when you do, you got to put butter on pancakes. That's why I took the extra time to make my own homemade stuff, because it makes it so good. You know that looks good. Bye, y'all.